My name's on 6 states' lists for this, she said, swirling the ice in her glass like it was nothing. Alienation of affection. You can sue them. Not him, them. I almost laughed. 6 years of marriage counseling, depositions, mediation, and nobody had said those words to me until a lawyer friend said them over wine like she was mentioning the weather. I'd found out about the affairs the way most of us do, by accident. A phone left unlocked, a receipt for a hotel 40 minutes from our house. On a Tuesday, he said he was working late. I confronted him expecting one woman, one mistake. What I got was 6 years, multiple women, a pattern so practiced it had its own rhythm. The divorce mediation was clean, efficient, lawyers in nice suits dividing our life into percentages. I got the house. He got the 401k split. It was fair on paper, but fair didn't feel like anything. Fair didn't account for 6 years of being lied to in my own kitchen. So when my friend said those words, alienation of affection, I asked her to say it again, slowly. She explained it like it was simple, because legally it kind of is. In a handful of states, North Carolina, Mississippi, a few others, a spouse can sue the people who interfered in the marriage. Not for cheating itself, but for what their conduct cost you. Your marriage, your stability, your years. I didn't feel angry when she said it. I felt still, like something had finally clicked into the right shape. That night, I went through old phone backups I'd kept just in case. Photos I'd snapped without knowing why. His phone screen, hotel confirmations, a calendar entry that didn't match his story. Emails I'd saved out of some instinct I couldn't name at the time. I hadn't been building a case. I'd just been paying attention. Turns out paying attention is a case, if you wait long enough. I hired an attorney who specialized in this. She read through 3 years of documentation in one sitting and looked up at me like I'd handed her a gift. "This isn't messy," she said. "This is organized." We identified 4 women, 4 affair partners across 6 years, each one with a paper trail I hadn't meant to create but had anyway. My attorney drafted demand letters, formal, measured, no emotion in them at all, just facts, dates, and a number. The first woman settled in 11 days. She had a husband of her own, a career, a reputation she didn't want dragged into a courtroom with my photos as exhibits. She didn't fight. She paid. The second one tried to argue she didn't know he was married. The text said otherwise. She folded within a month. The third hired a lawyer who pushed back hard until he saw the documentation. Then he told her to settle. Fast. The fourth was the longest relationship. Almost 2 years. She was furious at first, called my attorney threats wrapped in legal language. But when she realized a courtroom meant testimony, meant her name in public records, meant her own family finding out, she wrote the check. 4 settlements. Combined, just over $250,000. Here's the part I didn't expect to feel so good. My ex found out about the lawsuits before I ever said a word to him directly. He found out because they told him, panicking, blaming each other, asking if he was going to do something about it. He wasn't. There was nothing to do. The law doesn't care about apologies. I heard secondhand that he was furious. Not at me, at them, as if they'd betrayed him by protecting themselves, as if loyalty was something he was owed after everything. I never confronted him. Not once. I didn't need to scream in a parking lot or send a single text message dripping with rage. I let 4 demand letters do what 6 years of silence in my marriage never could. I let the system ask the questions I'd stopped asking out loud a long time ago. People think revenge has to be loud. Mine was quiet. It was paperwork and patience and photographs I didn't know I was saving for this. It was watching, from a careful distance, as the people who built their relationships on my blind spot were forced to pay for the privilege. Today, I have my settlement from the divorce. And I have this, money that came not from him, but from every single person who chose, repeatedly, to participate in his lies. I bought my house outright. I started over without owing anyone an explanation. People ask if I feel vindicated. I tell them vindication isn't the word. It's more like balance. The scales finally evened out, not because I fought for it with my voice, but because I let the law weigh what I'd already proven. He thought he got away clean. He didn't account for the fact that I'd been quietly documenting his betrayal for years, without even realizing that's what I was doing. Some women scream, "I just filed paperwork." If you found out this law existed after your own betrayal, would you have used it? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one.